Welcome back to Cattle Battle 101. I'm your host, Kurt Todd, and I have the lovely Miss Jordan Tierney with me, Miss Rodeo America 2020. How are you?
Good. How are you, Kurt? Thank you for having me on.
Well, thanks for joining me. I don't get a lot of famous people on my channel.
Well, easy there. I already have a big head. Don't need it to get any bigger. Just kidding.
So, start off with some basic questions, one thing. You made two women very happy today, I want you to know.
Oh, yeah?
I was FaceTiming with my mom right before this. She's like, what is that thing on your face? Because I had a mustache, like some chin hair.
Oh, yeah?
I thought, okay, I didn't know it was that bad. So I had to get rid of that. And my girlfriend, she hates it when I grow up in the face. So you made two women very happy just by doing it.
Well, you had to shave it. I see. Yeah.
So, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Oral, South Dakota, which is the southwest corner of South Dakota. We bought a ranch down here when I was about a year old, and my parents moved down here from the Rapid City area. And it's just nestled in the southern Black Hills, but it's on the prairie. And it's just been an incredible place to grow up. And so I'm very blessed to be where I'm from.
Is it real cold up in South Dakota?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it real cold?
Oh, it gets cold occasionally, in the winter. We will have some freezing temps, of course, but it's said that we live in the banana belt of the north. So, we'll have days in the winter when it'll get pretty, warm, which would be like 60 or 70 sometimes. So it's not like when it gets cold, it stays cold. I know when you think of the north, you probably think it's just chilly all the time here, but I promise it's not. We do have nice summer months. We definitely have the seasons, which I really do love. I love the change of season, and it's kind of like it just kind of resets you every season. So
it must be nice having seasons. You probably have no idea, but I'm from Mississippi.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Like right by the Alabama line, so it is hot pretty much all the time. We get a couple of cool days, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so you're from Mississippi. I got to go to the Dixie National this winter, and it was one of my favorite rodeos there in Jackson. I absolutely loved it. Your guys' state it was one of my favorite rodeos I've been to. It was so much fun.
I appreciate that. Were you at the state capitol any of those days?
Yeah, so we got to get a proclamation from the Senate, and then we also got to go over to the House of Representatives, and they gave us one there as well, me and the Dixie National Queen. And then we also got to go to the governor's mansion, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, they have incredible hospitality down there, and they pulled out all the stops. It was so much fun. I had a blast.
Good. I think my girlfriend, she was there for something. She's like, hey, this rodeo queen's here. I'm like, no way, take a picture. Like, no, Kurt, that's creepy. Stop. I'm like, come on, she's right there. But
it's not creepy. It happens all the time. It's all good.
I shouldn't wait you to do it. I should ask her again. But so how did you get your start in the rodeo? What made you want to be like, that's what I want to do?
So what got my start in rodeo or rodeo queening?
We'll start with rodeo, then rodeo queening.
Okay, so my dad and my mother, they both grew up rodeoing. My dad is a two-time world champion. Back in 1979, he won the tie-down roping, and then in 1980, he won the all-around world title in 80. And so, I have three siblings and then myself, and we all have rodeoed since we were, we probably were riding before we could walk, to be honest. And my mom was a former Miss Rodeo South Dakota in 1985. And so I always had that influence of rodeo queening from my mother, but I never took the plunge and decided to do it until about 2018. I decided I wanted to run for Miss Rodeo South Dakota for the title of the 2019 title. And so it was kind of just a natural progression for me into the rodeo queening because I grew up rodeoing, being around it and whatnot. I competed in barrel racing, pole bending, breakaway roping, goat tying, and team roping. So I was very involved, and I had a lot, and I just didn't have the time to dedicate to rodeo queening in my younger years. So when I graduated college in May of 2017, I was working back in my hometown at a physical therapy clinic. I was just the office manager, and I learned a ton from that job, and I really, really appreciate all that my boss did for me, right out of college, being a college grad. And but I decided that I wanted to use my degree because it's in business and administration and marketing, and I wanted to get more involved in rodeo, on the production side, on the marketing side, and what was an avenue that would allow me to, build those connections, find that networking opportunity. And that really pointed me to rodeo queening. And it had been something that I'd always been interested in because, like I said, my mom, was a rodeo queen in 1985. And that's kind of just where it blossomed. And so I've had 3 titles. I was Miss Days of 76 in 2018. I was Miss Rodeo South Dakota 2019, and then Miss Rodeo America 2020 and 2021 now. So it's been a very short but a very blessed journey in rodeo queening. So sorry, it's kind of long-winded.
So I was watching. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw like when you got crowned, and that was it's not epic, but it was really nice, and I love watching it.
Yeah. So the final 5 question that we have, it's the top 5 girls, and they all get asked the same question. And I don't think I've ever been more nervous in my entire life than when I answered that question. There's a lot riding on it, and you have to remember to breathe and speak from the heart. And so I hope that people saw that in that moment.
So what is your favorite part of Mount Rodeo? Like, of all the events and the traveling and everything, what is like the thing that you just love the most about it?
Well, the thing that I love the most with being a rodeo queen and with this title of Miss Rodeo America is the people that I get to meet. And it's maybe a little cliche to say, but I mean, I have met some of the most incredible people, and people that I've known of my entire life, but I've never personally met. And I mean, it has just opened, so many relationships to me that I'm so grateful that I have, and I'm really grateful for that. And not to get sentimental or anything here, but I got to meet Liesl Harris this year at Lake Charles and then in Jackson, and he passed away after the Dixie National. And I got to meet Rex, who was a pickup man for the Frontier, and he passed away this past week after an accident that he had in Guyman. But I had the opportunity to meet him in Cody and in Dodge, and that's something that I'm so grateful for. And it's those kind of things that if I wouldn't have had this title, I would have never, met individuals like those 2 human beings. They were incredible men, and I'm so grateful for that.
Lisa, he was always we had the Ralph Morgan Rodeo in my hometown, and he was always a clown there, and it was always a blast to go there and see him every year.
Yeah, and he was just incredible. The fact that his act was a very extensive act, and the fact that he was doing that at his age, I mean, that's incredible. It was so good. It was so funny. And he really was amazing. And so I never got to meet him before this winter, and the fact that I did was really special.
Definitely. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about what kind of music cowboys listen to. So what kind of music does a rodeo queen listen to?
Oh man, I'm a songbird. I love anything and everything. If it has a good beat, I'll listen to it. And it kind of depends on my mood, whatever kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in more of a relaxing, I'll listen to like slower country, but if I'm like, I want to get hyped up, I'll like listen to, more like pop or like R&B or something like much more, it just kind of depends whatever mood I'm in. But I'm definitely a songbird. Like my friends can attest that I'll be humming something like all the time, and I'll get a song in my head and I'll just hum it over and over, and they're like, man, you gotta stop doing that. You're getting it stuck in my head. So I love music. I don't sing good. Let's just get that out right away. I am not a good singer, but I do sing, and I will not stop. So
what is like one song that like everybody in rodeo should listen to at least once in their life. I was like a
Oh,
good,
well,
strong
I mean,
cowboy
it's not
song.
really a country song, but at all the rodeos they have sing-alongs, and I love the sing-alongs. But my two favorite sing-alongs to do is "Sweet Caroline" and then the one "Small Town Girl." What's the name? "Don't Stop Believin'." Those two, I mean, those two songs when they come on at a rodeo and it's a sing-along, I belt them out. I don't care if I've belt them out 100 times already. I go full force every single time I hear those two songs.
Right. And I cannot sing worth a lick, but at my high school, they play that at every pep rally. And the whole gym would be singing "Don't Stop Believing." I love the song.
I know, it just something about it, it just gets you, it feels American. And when you're at a rodeo enjoying the Western sport, it is the most American feeling.
Right. All right. So, what advice do you have for somebody who's just starting out rodeo?
Oh man, rodeo is such we have so many people in our sport that are willing to help. Just going off of my personal experience growing up with the father that I have, he's a two-time world champion, and so about every single summer since I can remember, we have probably about 50 to 100 people come through our house throughout the summer, coming to rope or, come to get roping lessons or just coming to, stopping in. And so we are such a helping community, such a helping sport. Reach out to anyone and everyone because they want to help, because we want to see our sport grow. And the way we do that is we get people involved. We explain to them. We share our love for it, and that's what's going to make it grow. So just reach out to anyone that has a connection to it. And if it's just one little piece of advice you get, it's better than nothing. But you have to take that first plunge and just go for it.
So, spinning off of that, for somebody who's not in rodeo, is there anything they should know about rodeo, like an essential thing?
An essential thing, it's never a bad thing to know the cowboy code. That's what a lot of people live by. You can always look that up and know that, because that's the way that the values and the morals that people in our industry carry themselves through, and just be an honest, hardworking person. If you're eager to learn and you're eager to help, that's what you have to have. You have to have the heart for it.
Right. Giving these professional answers. I'm loving
Well, that's what they're paying me for.
it. So, a very serious question that I have for you. Like, of all the questions I'm about to ask you, I need this one to be the most gut-wrenching, honest answer.
Okay,
Ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
If you were a bird, what kind of bird would you be and why?
If I was a bird,
A bird.
ooh, that's a great question. Is a flamingo a bird? I would definitely be a flamingo.
For me?
Yeah, there's something about them. Just they're so pretty. They're pink. Not that I like pink, but just they're so flashy. Like I love flashy things. So so I would be a flamingo, and they stand tall, and sometimes they only stand on one leg, and that takes talent, and that takes patience and perseverance. So I would be a flamingo.
Most time when I ask that question, people give me these like real shallow answers. They just thought of it, but they put some thought into it. Like that.
Yeah, yeah. I've never gotten asked, what kind of bird I would be, but I like that. I mean, that's a fun question.
I can mix it up a little bit. All right. Uh, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you travel?
Oh, Ireland. I want to go to Ireland so bad. As you can tell, I'm a redhead, and my dad's family, my father is full Irish, and I think his great grandpa came over from Ireland. So I want to go to Ireland. I've been told we have family over there, so it's just kind of that point of wanting to see where your heritage comes from, and so I want to go to Ireland. I would really like to go to Ireland on St. Patty's Day. Get the full experience of Irish culture, but Ireland for sure.
I always wanted to go to Ireland too. Ireland and like most of Western Europe, see everything all over the swoop.
Absolutely. You know, and I'm a huge history buff. Like I love history. So if it, you know, Ireland and then also like Greece, Italy, France, I would love to. I mean, yeah, if I could just travel the whole coast, but the one I have to make is Ireland, and then the rest I can maybe squeeze in.
Definitely. So, what is something really interesting about you that not a lot of people know?
Oh, so I'm double jointed in both my thumbs. So
Wow.
I'll show you. They like, can you see?
Oh, wow. That is,
Yeah, so I'm double jointed. It's kind of gross, but when I was young, I would always like do it in front of my classmates, and they'd always be like, "Jordan, stop that. That's gross." So that's something about me. I'm also the youngest of four, and I'm the caboose. So I am 4 years younger than my sister. They thought they were done having kids, and then along came Jordan. And they say that if they would have had me first, they would have had 10 more just like me. So
oh, definitely. Say the best for last.
they saved the best for last. Exactly. They stopped when they got perfection. So
What's unfortunate is I'm the oldest, so I got two brothers. I'm God's sister. So
you're
I
the
was
guinea
one out of the
pig.
bunch. We
Yeah,
can,
yeah. You're the one they had to try got the trials and errors done on. Yep.
yeah. Uh, what has been your favorite rodeo that you've gone to in your time that's Miss Rodeo America?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, the Dixie National down in Jackson, Mississippi was one of my favorite rodeos I've ever been to. And the reason it was one of my favorite was the activities that they had us doing during the day. You know, besides the rodeo, we got to go to a school for the blind and talk to them about rodeo and, you know, the Western industry. And then we got to go to a lot of elementary schools, which I love getting to go into schools and talk to kids about, you know, rodeo and Western way of life. And then we also got to go to an adult living facility, which the sweetest human beings. It was so special to get to, you know, share our knowledge with them. And we also got to go to a school that was for kids with hearing disabilities. And it was just really special. The people in Jackson, and then, like I mentioned, getting to go to the Capitol, getting to go to the governor's mansion, in the Senate, in the House. You know, they just had a lot of great things for us to go into the community. And that's my favorite part is that about this title is that anywhere I get to go, and you know, whether it's just you going into a coffee shop to get coffee and people seeing your crown and sash and they ask you and you can share, you know, the sport of rodeo with them and the Western way of life. That's what I love about the job. So whenever a rodeo has a lot of stuff like that lined up for me to do during the day, I think it's so much fun. But of course, I also love my South Dakota rodeos. I can't forget Deadwood, South Dakota, which is where I had my first title. Like I mentioned earlier, my first rodeo queen title in 2018. So I got to go back there this summer as Miss Rodeo America, and it was at the end of July, and it was incredibly special. That committee, that rodeo, they do an incredible job there. And so to get to represent them, South Dakota, and the PRCA just is really a full circle moment for me, and it was very, very special.
People say that like baseball is America's pastime. I think rodeo is the true
Oh,
American sport.
100%. I couldn't agree more with that. I'm not biased at all in that is that at all. No, it really is because it came from, you know, the people who built the West. You know, it derived off of our ranches and our working ranches and cowboys and a lot of hard blood, sweat, and tears. There we go. But yeah, it really is. It's really a sport that represents the American spirit. So I agree with you. I think rodeo is America's sport.
So, getting off of America, would you want to travel to anywhere else that like the PBRs were big in Mexico, Brazil, and Australia? Would you ever want to go to somewhere like that?
Oh, absolutely. And as Miss Rodeo America, in past years, you know, they've gotten to go to Australia for their finals down there. They also get to go to Canada for the Canadian finals. So, you know, hopefully in 2021, things will be back to normal a little bit, and I will get those opportunities to travel internationally for rodeo. So I'm really excited. It might look different, but you know, everything about this year has been a little different, and so you just have to roll with it, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm looking forward to hopefully those international trips, and I'll keep you updated on where those might be.
I appreciate that. So you have went above and beyond in answering all the questions I have written down. Is there anything you want to add or any questions you have for me?
um Oh, that's great. You should always have questions for your interviewer, right? That's at least what they say when you practice for your job interviews. But you know, this title, it's gifted me with more opportunities than I ever thought imaginable, and to get to represent the sport that is so meaningful not only to my family but to the people around me and in my community that are behind me and in my corner has really been one of the most rewarding and humbling things I could ever, you know, asked to do. And so it has been a very weird year, but I feel like I'm in this moment, you know, placed by God to be here. And it's hard, but when it gets hard, just reach for your faith and for your people in your corner, because at the end of the day, we're all going to get through it together.
Right. That was good. Really deep. Appreciate it.
Do we got any more? Is that the end? We're gonna do.
That's all I got right now.
That was all you got?
All I got.
Well, I guess I do have a question then. So what made you start the Cattle Battle 101?
So yeah, I've been bull riding for a while, and it was my senior year in high school. I've been watching a bit of Dale Briscoe. I'm like, I got something. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna tweak it a lot, and we're gonna make it like a Mississippi redneck bull riding. Just it started off as like a comedy thing, and then it's kind of getting serious, but I'm still trying to keep it kind of funny. Like I just filmed a skit yesterday with my roommate, and I'm
Okay.
preview it on my next video, so I can't wait for people to see that.
Well, that's really cool. That's exciting. You know, I think like, you know, Del Brisby, you like people that are taking what they know in the industry and then digitalizing it, and then being able to get, you know, more people that normally wouldn't get to see it or experience it. It's just all part of the growth of it, and it's exciting to see kind of rodeo in the Western industry move into the digital, you know, and have more of a presence on social media and online. So that's exciting. Good for you. That's really cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I guess that is all. So,
That's it? Oh man. Well, you're a very good interviewee. I didn't interviewer. I didn't feel at unease ever. You made it very easy, so I appreciate that.
I'm glad you did not sweating blood.
Don't sweat it. It all happens. Do you edit these at all, or where will I be able to see it when it's done?
I will post it on YouTube on my channel, Cattle Battle 101, and then I have a Facebook page where I'll post the link for it.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, I'll be keeping a lookout for it, and then I'll share it to my socials when it comes out.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.